What's good, YouTube? It's your boy Blue Blood Sports back at y'all with another one, man. So Eddie Hearn does another interview. Barry Hearn does another interview, and let me start this off by saying, for all you people that's going to come on here talking about why do I keep mentioning Barry Hearn when Barry Hearn is not part of Matchroom. He's not part of the negotiations. Let's not be idiotic, right? Let's do our research. First and foremost, Barry Hearn just came out and said that he was with Shelly Finkel negotiating. Barry Hearn just came out and said he was with Shelly Finkel negotiating in New York and trying to figure out something to iron out the situation with Wilder and Joshua. He said they did not make any progress. Then, as usual, they contradict themselves and start lying. Barry Hearn says, I think they slowly realizing, as well as Eddie Hearn said this in the interview, that Joshua's the A side, and that Deontay Wilder has never fought in front of 6,000 people in his career. That is a lie, okay? That is a bold-faced lie. Deontay Wilder just sold out the Barclays Center when he fought Luis Ortiz. There was 14,000+ people there. Okay, when he fought Bermain Stavern, there was 11,000+ people there. So what are you talking about? He's never fought in front of 6,000 people before. These are the nonsense lies and agendas that these dudes push to make it seem like Deontay Wilder's not successful. And this is why you get us, like the LDBC and new media, have to clarify it and be the windshield wipers to clear the mud off of the windshield so you can see clearly. Okay, Deontay Wilder has fought in front of double-digit thousands multiple times. He's never not fought in front of. This guy's talking about he's never fought over 6,000 people. This is what Barry Hearn said. Lies. Yes, he has. Okay? And when you compare him, and this is another thing, they keep saying that, oh, Joshua's fought in front of 76 to 90,000 people. Joshua's fought. Floyd Mayweather has never fought in front of 90,000 people. Who's more successful? Sugar Ray Leonard has never fought in front of 90,000 people. Who was more successful? Mike Tyson has never fought in front of 90,000 people. Who was more popular and more successful? Evander Holyfield's never fought in front of 90,000 people. That shit has nothing to do with it. When you fight over in the States, Floyd Mayweather has fought and packed out the most. The Las Vegas, the T-Mobile Arena where Wilder and Joshua where Team Wilder and Al Heyman was trying to have the fight in Vegas, is where Floyd Mayweather fought the majority of his career, and it doesn't hold 20,000 people. So he's never fought in front of 90,000 people, but he's still a billionaire. He's broke every record in pay-per-view record, every boxing record as far as numbers and money-wise. Floyd Mayweather has broken all those numbers, and he's never fought in front of 90,000 people. So let's please stop the nonsense and stop pushing the agenda that you need to fight in front of 90,000 people. No. And furthermore, 90,000 people, the motherfucker sit all the way to the back. He can't even see the fight. So what's the point in fighting in front of 90,000 people? Just to say that 90,000 people is in the building? Because they're not watching the fight. They're not connected to the fight. They're just there for the party. So stop saying it as if it's the event. So stop saying as if there's 90,000, all eyes are on Anthony Joshua. That's not true. When you go to football games here, you get 60,000, 30,000, 40,000 people. I've sat in the nosebleeds at football games and you can't even see the players. And you're not even talking a stadium that fits 90,000 people, let alone, and this is a football game. So let alone a boxing match, you can't see two people fighting in the middle of the ring. So you need the jumbotron. So that's like watching it at home on TV, but you just sitting there and hearing with the crowd. It's like a tailgate. That's all it is. So then Eddie Hearn comes out and says, this is another contradiction, right? That people is just idiotic, man. So this guy comes out and he says that Deontay Wilder, I think that Deontay Wilder and his team slowly realizing that without Anthony Joshua, they can't shine. They won't shine, right? He says that, listen how he contradicts himself all in one interview. All in one interview. He says that, I think the fight could be signed. He says Deontay Wilder wants to fight, we want to fight, but then he says that we have to figure out if Deontay Wilder wants to fight. Because we have to let them know by September. I mean, we have to let the WBA and Povetkin know if Deontay Wilder wants to fight. But you just said that Deontay Wilder wants to fight and you want to fight. And then 10 seconds later, you're saying that you got to figure out if Deontay Wilder wants to fight. Because you got to let the WBA and Povetkin know. Then he says, I think the fight is going to happen regardless, but we want the fight to be in the UK. It's not a matter of if the fight is going to happen, because it's going to happen. It's a matter of when and where. Is it going to be September, October, November, December, January, maybe even February, March of next year? Is exactly what Eddie Hearn said. It's going to happen. It's just as if it's going to happen in September or if it's going to happen sometime next year. But there's another contradiction. Because if Wilder's offering $50 million with a 50-50 split of revenue to have it staged in the States, and you saying you want to have it in the UK, after September, wouldn't it be the same holdup? What would be the difference? So after you fight Povetkin, where's the change of heart? Is the change of heart going to come on your side, or is the change of heart going to come on Wilder's side? Which one is it? Where does the change of heart come from after you fight Povetkin? See, because here's the bottom line. For the people that don't pay attention and don't read between the lines, they never ever wanted to have the fight next in September. That was not the plan. Deontay Wilder disrupted their plan and their agenda by offering $50 million with the 50-50 split, offering something that was never done before in the history of heavyweight boxing. Basically offering them an offer that they couldn't refuse, but they still refused. But they put the offer so far out there, it was hard to dispute. So it was hard for them to say no. So they had to keep coming up with lies. Once you lie once, you got to keep coming up with lies. You tell the truth once, you don't got to tell it again. Right? So they kept coming up with this nonsense. So when Deontay Wilder did that and disrupted everything, their agenda, he derailed their plans. They had to keep coming up with these lies, and it stalled out everything, because by now they wanted to already have the Povetkin fight signed, sealed, and delivered, and be blaming Wilder for not having a fight, saying he didn't want the fight, he didn't want to agree to the terms, and then have the fight staged in sometime December, late 2018, early 2019, and say that they had to get the fight done, right? Because they wouldn't have an alibi then for a mandatory with Povetkin. So then they would have went to the table, made the fight, and so on and so on. But Deontay Wilder disrupted and derailed their plans from the jump, from the beginning, forcing them to have to take the fight, to think about taking the fight earlier than they wanted. You understand? So that caused them to have to think about having the fight prior to having Povetkin fight. That wasn't the plan. As we stated, you could check out 78. He got the facts on one of his videos. But they had a 3-fight plan, which they was gonna fight. They fought in March. They was gonna fight Povetkin in September and Wilder in late 2018 or early 2019. But those plans got derailed by Wilder offering that money. So now it forced them to have to make a decision. So now they still want to put it on Deontay Wilder. So now, the thing is, He's saying it's not a matter of if the fight is going to happen. I believe the fight is going to happen. At one point, he says he knows Wilder wants to fight. Then he says they got to figure out if Wilder wants to fight. He says we want the fight in the UK, but then he says, "Oh, we'll have the fight. The fight is definitely going to happen next." I mean, the fight is definitely going to happen. It's just a matter of if it's going to be September, October, November, December, maybe February or March of 2019. Well, then somebody has to have a change of heart, because Deontay Wilder gave you an offer you can't refuse. So why would he change his stance on that? And you saying that you and Joshua are hell bent on having a fight in the UK, then where would the change of heart come from after your fight with Povetkin in September? Would you is Anthony Joshua suddenly going to say, okay, well, I had this fight with Povetkin, I might as well go over to the States. It's time for me to go over to the States and make it happen? Is Deontay Wilder going to say, okay, well, they had the fight with Povetkin, so I might as well go over there and accept 65-35 split instead of the 60-40 that he's looking for? Which one is it? Because in that short time frame, what would change? What is going to change that is going to force Deontay Wilder or Anthony Joshua to move off of their square and say, listen, I might as well have the fight in the States or have the fight in the UK? Or is it going to be easier for Eddie Hearn, Barry Hearn, and Matchroom to come to the negotiation tables and make the fight happen, because now they already accomplished what they wanted to accomplish, was to have a fight in between before they had the fight. So they stuck to their schedule. They stuck to their plan. So as long as they have their plan and they stayed on their square and they had the schedule the way they wanted it to be and not the way Wilder wanted it to be, is that the reason that they say in the A side, they're the A side because they had plans already. And no way Wilder is going to come in and disrupt them plans. He got to understand that he's not the A side. He can't call the shots. It's not a matter of when and where. It's a matter of, it is a matter of when and where. But the matter of when and where is not the UK. I believe the matter of the A side being Deontay Wilder coming and derailing their plans, and they're like, listen, you ain't the A side, you ain't gonna come derail these plans. We're gonna have this fight prior to you, just like we already had planned out. And you won't disrupt that. You know? So then he says that they need him to shine and the fight will happen. You know, it's just a bunch of nonsense at this point, man. We know the fight's not going to happen. He says he believes that Alexander Povetkin is next. But the Wilder fight will happen after that. It's definitely going to happen because Wilder wants it. But at one point, he comes out, he says that he got to figure out if Wilder wants it. It's unbelievable. And Barry Hearn says that, now he's going to come back from New York. He's going to relay the message that things didn't move forward. They didn't make any progress with Shelly Finkel. Now he'll go back to he'll relay the message to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn and his team will get together. They'll figure something out. They go to Anthony Joshua, and at the end of the day, the man makes his decision. The man himself, referring to Anthony Joshua, he'll make the final decision, as always. You know, and then we'll see where we go from there. But that's all I got for y'all, man. It's your boy Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. If you haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon, get all new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV. Y'all already know what it is, man. It's your boy Blue. Shout out to the whole LDBC, man. Shout out to New Media. Shout out to Black Media Row. Y'all already know what it is, man. Make sure you hit that like button. Make sure you hit the subscribe button. Follow me on Instagram. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. It's your boy Blue. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.